Hello everyone, today we are going to be talking about one of the most important astrological events that is happening April 20th, which is the solar eclipse. This solar eclipse is a hybrid solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is happening at the 29th degree of Aries, the last degree of Aries entering Taurus. We also have, with the solar eclipse, we have Rahu, who is at 4 or 3 degrees into Taurus. So we have a lot of energies. Who is the planet of Aries? It is Mars. We also have a lunar eclipse that is happening because we have 2 eclipse seasons. The first one is right now, April 20th and May 5th. And then we have the second eclipse season, which is happening in October. The first eclipse season, which is right now, which is going to be happening in Scorpio and Aries. The lunar eclipse is going to be in Scorpio and the solar is in Aries. And who rules Scorpio and Aries? It's Mars. Mars right now is not happy. It's disappointed. It's not in a best place for it to be because we have it in Cancer. The second eclipse season is going to be in Taurus and Libra. And what rules Taurus and Libra? Venus, which Venus just moved out of its preferred sign and is in Gemini. That is why this eclipse is very, very different and it distinguishes a lot from the last eclipses that we've had. These 2023 eclipses are big and super important that come with a lot of energy and a lot of momentum. The solar eclipse, once again, is happening April 20th, the last degree, 29th degree of Aries, entering into Taurus. And the solar eclipse is going to be visible in Australia and Indonesia. If you guys are listening to me and you do live there, I do not recommend you watch this. This is not something that is amazing. I mean, it is amazing, but this is not something that we should go out and expose ourselves to that energy. If you are really interested and you really do want to watch it, I would recommend you watch it on the news or on the TV. I do not recommend that you go out and put yourself and expose yourself to that energy. I mean, it always goes back to you guys. Do whatever you want. I'm just here giving advice. So what is the solar eclipse? It is a new moon on steroids. It is a new moon with more energy. With the solar eclipse, we have the earth here, the sun here, and the moon is going to say, you know what? I'm going to come right in the middle and cause some type of tension and really, really a lot of energy to these 2 planets, especially Earth, which will, of course, affect us that is down here. The solar eclipse affects the oceans, storms, clouds, stones, plants, rivers, everything, us, every living thing on Earth, this is going to affect. So with this solar eclipse, it's just kind of confusing just because of where it is. It's at its last degrees, 29 degrees of Aries, and we have K2. I like looking at Rahu and K2 as well when it comes to these things. So it's between Aries and Taurus. So this solar eclipse can bring on for the next 3 months a lot of health changes, something to do with health. We may notice that health is going to be more dominant in the media, more dominant in the news. There may be significant changes, big changes in political views, in laws, something to do with different countries, maybe conflicts or a war that may come up in a country or 2 different countries. There's going to be striking changes politically, something to do with presidents, something to do with the way that we all live, with what we believe, with what we are seeing, things that are going to be just shocking to us. If we are speaking worldwide speaking, it may be health, it may be something, a big change, a big striking change that may happen with us, and politically speaking, a big change. It might just be something health-wise that will happen internal within the politics, within the political world that may change something. Maybe the death of a political person or a president or something like that, just as an example. This technically changes the table. It turns the table. It gives us striking changes. And this also gives momentum to what is already happening. I don't know if you guys, it's probably not even on the news, but it's all over social media. What's happening in France, what's happening in Europe, in Holland. There's a lot of things going on right now. And this all started as soon as we got Pluto that moved into Aquarius. And differentiate between these. These are not two separate things. This is all a one. So the solar eclipse is coming in. We have Aquarius and Pluto, and we have Saturn and Pisces. And then we have all these things happening in all these countries. With the solar eclipse is going to come in, and it's going to give it more momentum and give it more energy. So we may notice more strikes, more protests, more people speaking out, anger, because it is ruled by Mars, and Mars is not in a very great place right now. It's not really happy. It's in a disappointing house to it, or sign, sorry. So we have to look at everything in one. This can cause a lot of political changes. Something may happen health-wise. We're going to notice more strikes, more protests, more people angry, more people mad, more people talking out and expressing themselves politically and how they feel about the freedom that they have or the freedom that they don't have. Things like that. So worldwide speaking, this is going to be big changes, more protests, more strikes, more people talking out, things happening. That's going to be a big striking change to everyone. This is just giving momentum to what's already happening right now. Something health-wise, maybe we may hear a death of someone important, more storm. There may be more storms. We may hear about fires, more fires happening, things like that. Now, personally speaking, how is this going to affect us? Humans, people on Earth, how is it going to affect us? I want you guys to think back on December 2004 and mid 2006. So from 2004 of December till 2006, I want you guys to try to think about your lives and what you went through and what happened around that time. And if you do remember, I want you to take notes, because this is the last time that we had an eclipse that was in Aries, eclipse season in Aries and Libra, and that was the last time that we had Rahu in Aries and Ketu in Libra. So these are things that are really, really connecting each other, because the first eclipse, which is right now, is happening in Aries, and then the next eclipse for the next season, it is going to be in Libra. And we have Rahu in Aries and Ketu in Libra. The last time this happened was 2004 and 2006, between 2004 and 2006. So I want you guys to think back at that time. What happened? What happened in your life? What is the title of a solar eclipse? Eclipse season. The title of these eclipses is, it's a new beginning in your life or an ending in something in your life. This ends, it clips things out of our life. It ends things. It forces us to make changes in our life, or it brings on new things in our life. So if you are a smoker, this is the time where it will force you to quit smoking. If you've always wanted to quit smoking, you said, you know what, whatever, I'll just have one more. It's not going to bother me. Oh, you know what, whatever, I'm just going to have one more. It's not going to bother me. The eclipse is going to come in and say, whoa, you need to stop. This may clip that smoking out of your life. Or if you are someone that is usually very, very angry and you want to try to change certain habits, this eclipse season comes in and forces us to do these changes. Forces us to leave those people that we've been wanting to leave, but we never had the heart to leave, or we just didn't have the courage to leave. Forces us to enter this relationship that we knew was good for us, that we should enter. This forces us to leave toxic people, toxic habits, toxic things in our life, or it forces us to enter the good and the positive things and to start those good habits and positive habits in our life as well. If you do leave and if you do get out of things, you are going to notice later on, like, oh my God, I should have done this a long time ago. This is better for me. This is what I should have done years from now, which is why we need eclipse season. So this is a new chapter opening and an old chapter closing. It's new things coming up and it's old things closing. It's things that will end that we needed to end, and it's responsibilities and actions that we will take that we had to take. So I know I'm talking about 2004, 2006, that was so long ago, but if you do remember, think about the changes that you went through. Think about the chapters that closed and the chapters that opened for you around that time. Maybe you moved to a new state, you moved to a new country, maybe you got married, maybe you got divorced, maybe you had a child, maybe you quit certain things, you quit alcohol, you quit smoking, whatever it is. Think about that time, because this eclipse is talking and communicating with that eclipse that happened in 2004, between 2004 and 2006. Obviously, it's new energies. Pluto wasn't in Aquarius back then. Saturn wasn't in Pisces. We didn't have Jupiter in Aries. It's a change of energy. It's a shift of energy altogether when you put all these planets together. But we did have Rahu and Ketu where they are now. And we did have the eclipses in Libra and Aries. But it's the last time that there was eclipses in these signs that is happening right now. Obviously, I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen that happened in 2004, but this just gives us a little hint and help on what we may expect with this solar eclipse or this eclipse season. Jupiter is the conscious planet. It's the planet that cools down the other planets around it. It tells them to calm down. But Jupiter is in Aries. And who controls Aries? Mars. There is going to be an eclipse happening at the last degrees of Aries, beginning of Taurus. So Mars really has the upper hand in this right now. Jupiter will try to calm it down, but it can't to an extent. Jupiter right now is in combust. So this lowers its energy to give us that positive energy, and it lowers its power to talk to these other planets and tell them, calm down, take it easy, don't cause this, don't cause that. Right now, Jupiter is in combust. So it's not going to be telling Mars to calm down. Mars is in Cancer. Mars is not happy already. So with this solar eclipse being in Aries, which is the sign that Mars rules, we are going to notice a lot of conflicts between people. There may be more conflicts between people, fights, arguments. Try not to get into any problems around this time. Try not to cause any problems when there's the solar eclipse. It's not a good time to travel. Days after the solar eclipse, you can travel, but the day up, it's not a good thing to be traveling around that time as well. Plus, we have the second day, the 21st of April, Mercury is going into retrograde, so we got to watch out for malfunctions. We got to watch out for that fogginess of mind, forgetting things, things going wrong in our house, things going wrong with our cars, different internet problems, mechanical problems, things like that. And we have literally 4 hours after the solar eclipse, we have a new moon. There's a lot happening, a lot of energy congested in just over 2 days. So April 20, April 21, and 22, that energy will still be there, but not as strong as these 3 days. We really, really, really need to be careful. Try not to cause any problems. Try not to face anyone with things right now. Try not to antagonize anybody right now. Keep to yourself. Stay calm. Think peace. Think meditation. Really take up meditation right now. Journaling. Write things down. Do whatever it is that helps you stay calm, helps you stay collected. Try to keep that positive energy up. We do have Jupiter in combust right now. Jupiter is not going to help us as much as we thought it will. Mars right now has the upper hand. With the solar eclipse, it's talking straight to Mars. We need to be careful. We need to watch our anger. We need to watch for those things that is going to separate us. Of course, the solar eclipse comes in and says, this has to stop. You have to go. You have to stop doing this. You have to stop doing that. It, once again, closes chapters, opens new chapters. We do need this in our life. Some of us need this push. Some of us need this energy, but try not to take too much of that Mars and too much of that anger energy that Mars is going to be sending down to us, especially with this solar eclipse that really just gives a lot of energy and momentum to all the other planets and things that is happening around us. Around this time as well, really make your own decisions. Be careful with the decisions that you're making. Take time with the decisions that you're making and take these decisions on your own. Try not to let anybody influence your decision making. Really sit and think about the things that you want to do, and remember that you do not need help from anyone to make the decisions. You make the decisions for yourself. You tell yourself what to do. You're the one that rules your life. Try not to get different energies from other people or decision makings from other people or advice from other people around this time. Think about what you want to end, what you want to begin, what habits you want to stop. So make decisions on your own around this time. Think about the way you want your life to be. And the last thing we got to be careful from is taking advice. Who you're taking advice from. What kind of advice are you taking? Are you learning to take your own advice? Around this time, take your own advice. Don't take anyone else's advice. Make sure this advice that you are taking, if you are going to take it from someone else, is the right advice for you. Don't just jump in on an advice that someone tells you is the right thing. You know what's good for your life more than anyone else. This is a time where you need to sit, reflect, and think with yourself, within yourself, from yourself. This is not the time to get any help from people, advice from people, or decision making with the help of someone else. So take your own advice, make your own decisions. So April 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and a week after, this whole time, that whole phase, you need to be careful. Watch who you're taking advice from. Watch decisions that you make. Make sure you are really think about these decisions and make sure they are the right ones. There's going to be a lot of chapters and doors closing and amazing, beautiful new ones opening that you never thought you needed in your life, but you will down the road look back and say, I should have done this a long time. I should have left this person a long time. That I did now a long time ago. And it's going to be the best for you. You may not see it now. It's going to be a big disappointment. You may be shocked. You may be sad. But down the road, you are going to notice that this was for the better and this is what you should have done a long time ago. Worldwide speaking, once again, big changes, political changes, more protests, more striking. People are angry. Everybody just has a lot of energy of anger right now. It's really prominent right now because of Mars. And with Jupiter being combust, once again, it's not giving us that positive energy that it usually does. And it's not stopping that negative energy coming from us to us. So watch with that. Watch with your attitude. Watch the decisions that you make. Watch who you're talking to, who you're taking advice from, who you're listening to around this time as well. And learn to think for yourself, make decisions for yourself, and give yourself the advice that you know you need in your life and internally. That's it for the solar eclipse. I've already posted a post about who needs to watch out most with the solar eclipse. Make sure that you guys like and share this, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.